did not put a state sign here sticker on the first one, okay?
No.
So are you still gonna sign it?
There's a whole bunch of ones that guys missed from last week too, so.
Why are you passing it to the
There
person
was a
who's
bunch
not
of
here?
missing, she said?
Yeah, there's a couple missing signatures, yeah, all those
Oh, my
tabs.
freaking word.
Yeah.
You guys are live, by the way. You
Attention.
guys are live.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Brady.
We're ready to go?
Ready to go.
We'll call the meeting to order.
Flag salute.
Flag salute. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Number 3, review and approve the minutes.
What's that? Yes, I need that. Can you get the mouse adapter from my computer? Yep. We're gonna have to order one, because the other one I have is decided to crap. The one that I was using for my computer at home.
Hello, Denise.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm getting cold now.
You are?
It was sticky out.
Yeah, you can try to call her, that'd be great. Where's her information? It's on my desk, it's just flipped over, right on that front pile, well, one of the front piles. That's better.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from June 17th, 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 4, Parks and Rec Committee.
Didn't have anything for you tonight, so they didn't come.
Okay.
Number 5, Fire Department.
Fire department chief is in Europe.
Nothing.
Nope.
Number 6, approve treasurer's accounts
You have a
and
copy,
payroll warrant.
I have a copy, I did fire payroll today, so a copy of the
Fire.
fire, in the warrant book, there's a copy of the printout of the fire department
It's
hours
not on
report.
here.
It's a separate warrant.
It's a separate one, yeah. Okay.
But that's the bills, and here's the copy of the bills that we paid on that treasurer's warrant, except for the one that we were discussing, the quote doc for Mr. Cowett. We needed to discuss if you want me to just pay that and get it over with,
Yes.
So what we'll do is if when you sign that, notate that you want me to add payment to Scott Carlett, like off to the side, and I'll add it to the warrant, so the warrant that prints out with the checks will have an additional
Okay,
item on there. Is there any other documentation you want from him?
I'm okay with it. I mean,
Just
it
get
was
rid
a
of it.
verbal agreement. I haven't inspected it yet, but,
I
you know,
mean, but,
you
Let
don't get
me
a lot for
know.
$100, so I'm not expecting, you know.
Yeah, so if you do the inspection on it tonight, everything's fine.
Yeah.
If you, well, let's say if I don't hear from you, I'm assuming it's okay to go ahead and
Yeah.
cut the check.
Yeah.
But if there is a problem, send me a message in the chat or give me a call so I don't send the check because you need to have a conversation with him.
Now, do you feel comfortable dealing with them, or you want?
I'm just gonna mail him the check. If he has a problem with it, then, I mean, I don't have to have any contact with him. I can just send him an email that the
Because
vote.
if not, one of us will take it, and
Absolutely.
he can come see us,
Right, yeah.
you know, when we're here, you know.
I mean, did you get a hold of her?
I did get a hold of her, she's not able to come in, but she can have a call over the phone.
She can have it over the phone?
Yes.
Okay, so we can go in executive session and call her back
Yes.
at this number, so we
Okay.
can handle the Sexton thing
Yes.
tonight.
okay. Yeah, like I said,
If that's, I don't know if he wants his money like right now.
Well, the
whatever,
way
but
he-
you
In
know,
the email, he indicated that if he didn't get paid by the end of this week, that he would go and pull it up.
Right.
So, and you know, I don't know if you guys wanna make a call to him, or if you want me to just cut the check, so I can mail it, I'm mailing it to Winslow, he may not get it by the end of the week with the holiday. And he's just gonna cause hate and discontent if he goes and pulls
right.
that out. I mean,
I think one of us should take it,
do we have a phone, I'll see if we can find a phone number for
Right,
him.
I don't mind calling and saying, listen, just so you know,
you can meet him here after hours or something,
Either
or
that,
whatever,
or
I mean,
or you can say it's in the mail.
it's in the mail, I'll verbally vouch for that I put it in the mail today, so if you don't get it, it's only because, not that we haven't mailed it.
Yeah.
Due to the fact it's the 4th of July weekend, cut some slack on,
Yeah.
common
Yeah,
sense.
and I think that, you know, I mean, basically I requested the same thing I would of any person requesting reimbursement was proof of receipts. And when he indicated that he was a contractor, I had to follow the same part as I would with any other contractor that's doing business on the premises of the town-owned properties.
but,
So-
you know, I
Be
mean, no,
probably what-
I was doing my job, and he just felt like I was pushing, I shouldn't have been pushing, I shouldn't have asked for that, so I was just doing my job.
part of that falls on us because you weren't privy to the conversation that we
Partially,
had.
I mean, and that's fine, I mean, it was just a simple, I mean, he took offense to everything that I sent to him, it was just a simple clarify here kind of situation, and,
No, I mean,
We entered into a verbal agreement with him without your knowledge, so.
yeah.
right, so which is why I think that, like, I totally agree with you, let's get them paid.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
thank you
Thanks for all you've done.
for all you've done, exactly. But,
But
on your
Please
point,
don't come to us anymore.
well, like I said, on your point, if you want to be a citizen that's doing good for the town and just reimburse me, aka cut me a check, that's fine. Or, no, I want to be treated as a contractor, and if I want to play that road, then these are the steps that I have to find. You can't be a contractor and say, hey, I just want to cut my check.
Right.
Do you
Because
be black or
legally,
be white, or be one or
if
the
you
other?
pay him like a contractor on an invoice and we go through our workers' comp audit,
That's right,
and we don't have proof of insurance or proof that he waived off on the workers' comp or,
correct.
also, we have to have legally to pay, our auditor looks at our W-9. So when we pay a vendor,
Right.
he wants to make sure that we have a W-9 on file saying that we have the authorization to bill him as a sole proprietor, incorporated, all that. All federal documents that are required to have to pay from.
I think it was more of a donation.
I
type of
think
thing,
so,
but, you know.
but he could have handled it a little differently.
Absolutely,
I probably could have too.
well, hey, you know what? Sometimes you reap what you sow. You
So
may
what I'll
get
do is
better
I'll look
results
for
with
a
honey
phone
than you do
number for
vinegar
him tomorrow.
Sometimes,
Exactly.
come in here guns a-blazing, especially if, you know, he had no idea that you had nothing, you didn't know anything about it.
Right.
Like you said, you can't pay bills. Just because somebody comes in and say, hey, you guys owe me $100.
Right, that's,
What
it.
if you could get a steady influx of people doing
I could
that?
lose my job for doing that, you know, and I was
Hey,
hired to do a specific
Lady,
job.
you owe me a couple $100.
Right, like
I'm
on
pretty
whose
sure.
authority? I think I indicated in the email that I had no authorization to authorize payables. I was only told to pay what I'm told to pay. You know, you
Yeah.
ultimately release the funds, I just cut the check and sign it
And
just
he,
to.
And I agree with it, I mean, like I said, I don't have any problem getting him paid, because he did do, work.
and I think, like I said, I think he's not, I believe he can't produce the invoice because it's stuff he already had.
Right. And that's all he had to really say, except that I had on
He
hand,
was
this
just
is an
trying to get
estimated
reimbursed for his
value.
materials that he either had milled or whatever. I mean, he
Right,
knows
and-
what their worth is.
Right, and I think
On the
that
open
if he had just responded that way, it would have been, oh, okay, but then he went down a different route. You know, he went down the contractor route, and then, all right, that's red flags, because if we're charged an audit or workers' comp, we could hold him accountable for the extra premium we're charged on our workers' comp audit.
Right.
So, one way or the other, you have to be one more, and then, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever,
He has an abrasive personality.
that's for sure. I can't, sometimes I do too, but I try not to be.
Hose testing was $3,200.
There was hose testing, ladder testing, and there was a replacement. If you hand me the bill, I can tell you. It's an annual testing every year.
I just
So
got
it's pretty standard, that's a pretty
Yeah, I remember,
standard
no, I
cost.
remember that.
yeah.
We did the test all, make sure all the couplings are gonna hold.
Yeah, and I
Well,
think they
something
had
must
to
have been
have,
replaced,
there
right?
was one small replacement, I think it was like a,
3240, 3241.
Could be a coupling, just because the threads get smashed in the middle of the fire scene, you don't really worry about it. You
Are
just
they brass?
Yeah, yeah, they're brass and it's just
Expensive.
together.
who's the vendor on that one?
I don't
Oh,
see.
Encore Holdings, right there. No, that's not it, that's this one.
I was just, they had to replace something, like I said, for
Heat
$3,200.
sensors, $35 was the heat sensors, hose testing was $32.41, ladder testing was
$560.
$560. Yep, the hose testing, that's pretty standard though,
Yeah.
anyways from $3,000 to $5,000, depending on how much footage you're.
Right, that's,
What do you have, an outside entity coming and test these?
yeah,
I mean, occasionally,
I didn't know that.
they do the testing
Yeah.
after calls and stuff, but
They
then
have to
they
get
have to have an
certified.
annual testing to
Right.
make sure they're, certified to be in use.
Yeah. I'm cool with it.
that way there, if you hook it up and, it's not running the line when the line blows.
Right.
Take somebody, slap somebody in the head.
Yeah,
So all the tabbies, make sure you sign all the extra ones, the payroll warrant
Yeah,
is in there for fire, because I ran quarterly fire payroll. It shows all the hours, and it does show that this, the chief doesn't receive a paycheck for his hours, but they are logged as how many hours he's been on scene.
it's not seen right.
And here's the minutes you just approved, I forgot to have you guys sign those.
So, would you like me to put the little notation on the
Yeah,
very
just,
first page?
one of, on that top page on that pre-warrant, because that's the warrant with
This
that
one here?
one that we would
Yeah.
pay on, yep. Just notate, please pay out invoice to Scott Cowett in
Yep.
amount of $100. And that just gives me the authority to do it, and then
Yeah.
the warrant, that's a preview warrant. The
Yeah.
warrant that you'll sign at the next meeting will show that it is $100 more than what I was presented in this meeting, because we added that.
Right,
It's just a checks and balance kind of thing.
Yep.
right.
behind, huh?
Yeah, well, you're trying to run the
Shoot my
meeting
mouth
in.
off, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's all right, you're trying to run the meeting into all the signing, it's kind of a juggling.
Mhm. Tell me no.
If you wanted,
Denise
yes.
might be, she's making me nervous.
Just make you nervous.
Here's us.
Thank you.
Look at all those seconds. I better sign the very first page.
That's the most important one, that's the one I've got to release, the other ones have already been sent. Because by law, I can't withhold the state money nor payroll.
Yeah. We can't drag our feet.
Well, if you've been presented with, for one thing, there's a labor law that if you've been presented with a time card, you'll have 10 days to pay it out regardless if you agree with it or not. You can't withhold the funds, you have to pay it out within the 10 days. And then with the state payables, they want it as quickly as you would get it. So they want it within, just as soon as you cut your report date, they want it mailed out. Like Inland Fisheries wants it by the 15th, B&B wants it once a week, you know. And if you want a copy of the fire payroll run, the file, I can email it to you because they send it to me digitally, so I can forward it to you if you want to look at the hours and all.
This one here, Chris.
No, did I miss it?
Yeah, we probably missed it. A week ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Yeah, look at that.
it says 7-3.
no, that's today's.
I spent a whole year missing them.
I chase them down after
Yeah.
the meetings. Just come
I
in
ain't
and
gonna
sign it.
sign this. I got one signature on every one. Tony signed this one, but you didn't, and you signed this one and Tony
He
didn't.
did. Yep,
I got one signature on every one.
you can sign those during work sessions. It's the
Yeah.
treasurer's warrant that you have to sign in the meeting. The payroll ones, we have, actually, I've got to update those policies. Like you have the right to only require one selectman signature and the treasurer to be able to release state payables and payroll. No kids,
How do you want Chinese food?
they don't know I got Chinese food. They think I'm broke and they're gonna think I'm broke till next week.
Thanks. Stuck your
You still got the Billy Club tonight, huh? You step out of line.
I don't know where that came from. It just appeared one night in there.
Yeah, Friends of Lake Winnicott, we thought they brought it last
Yeah, right.
night. Get there.
Oh, it's been in here for about a week.
Thought Valerie was gonna use it to get her point across. All right, number 7, approve and sign the renewal for liquor license for Mammy's Country Kitchen.
Yep.
I don't see any problem with that.
No, I don't think so. Let's see. This officers,
They just sell wine and beer over there?
wine,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do
food,
they have beer and draft?
beer, wine, and spirits,
Oh, really? They have mixed drinks over there, huh?
malt liquor and wine
Hmm.
is what they usually sell. So I need both of you to sign and print.
Yeah.
And I can forward that back to Diane. I don't think you need to do a motion and to accept that or
To accept the,
just to approve it.
I would say, it's not gonna hurt.
No.
I'll make a motion that we approve the liquor license for Mammy's Country Kitchen.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So Denise, you okay with, if we give, Stacy the nod as sexton? I mean, you have much more to do with the cemeteries than we do, you know. I think, I think we should give her a try,
I
but, you
would
know.
work with her and she can say, okay, she took a step that we really don't need to do.
Mhm.
So I'm okay with
Yeah.
going from point A to point B and work out, I'm good.
Mhm. Yeah, I think we should give her a shot,
I think
you know.
Let's give her.
Like I told her, if it doesn't work, she can always step aside,
Right.
you know, we can try to hunt somebody else up if it's not.
Right now, it's relaxing.
Yeah.
This is a perfect time for her to step in and take over.
Mhm.
Right,
Back in May would not be a good time.
right, it's how it
Because you
is,
have the
you gotta know what
backlog
you
from
need to do.
winter passes.
Yeah.
This is a good time for, like you said,
Get a little
easy transition.
backlog from the winter.
Right, you can learn and not be learning today and, you know,
And crying.
and crying. Because we're doing it tomorrow type deal.
Well, we do have one coming up. Everything's laid out.
Right.
Just going to show her how to
Yeah,
market.
Right.
For the grave digger.
Yeah.
Make sure the paperwork's waiting for her for signatures.
Yeah.
It's, as I said, it's relaxing.
right, it's a good entry level way of learning, right?
Yeah.
You've done this, right, no, I think it's great.
And then over the winter, we could work with her, like getting her up to date with like maybe get her some trainings and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like,
There's training.
I don't know, I think there might be. There's, Mocha does
Like that,
some
no,
stuff,
very good.
Ask Denise.
They do have a mocha.
a couple workshops, you
Yeah, but it's
could,
not, yeah.
and we also could work with her here in the office on the paperwork side of it and, you know, get things, you know,
That's the big part
more
right there.
organized with it.
So I'll step up, you guys can talk. I'm gonna do a sweatshirt.
You want to do the executive session
We
from here
can,
then?
because the office is still
Yeah,
open if that's
okay.
easier.
Yeah, and Denise is gonna get a
We need to
sweatshirt.
She can guard the door, because we're in.
We need to make a motion to enter the executive session.
Yep.
Oh, I'll make a motion that we enter executive session, MRSA 405, section 6D, labor negotiations for the sexton.
I'll second that.
At 6:53 PM.
Yes,
And don't forget.
6:53.
Vote 2-0, okay, let me
This is
get
on.
the, oh, it's not, we actually do have to leave the room because I don't know how to pause that. We have to pause that while we're in executive session.
Can't just unplug it.
No, I think it would like lose the connection.
That's fine, easy. We can pause it.
I think we probably should just, because I'm not really 100% sure how to do that. I think we
No,
should just
that's fine,
exit and
no,
go in the
just-
back office.
Yeah, it's easy for us to get up and move.
Yeah. I think so. I'll have to work on that procedure. I'm used to having the audio one that I can just pause it.
Right.
Well, I know how to pause it. I don't know if you can restart it.
Right, that's the problem.
It's kind of like me, I know how to pause me, but I don't want to restart me. She's at.
I do the woo dance, people make fun of me.
Why did you hear us making fun of you in there?
No.
No?
But I just want to do the woo, I do the woo dance at Troy General all the time when I hit the dollar.
Yeah.
Alright. So we have a motion to exit.
We're gonna, I make a motion that we exit executive session 405, section 6D at 7:11 PM.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then now you have to announce your outcome.
We have successfully negotiated appointment of the
Sexton.
sexton.
Yeah.
Okay.
That didn't exactly roll right off the tongue.
No, it didn't, but I'll get it back in there to make it
It'll sound
kind of
Yeah,
sound all good.
it certainly didn't sound good on the owl, I'm sure.
It was 7:11 for the exit.
Yes.
So outcome, successfully negotiated.
Sexton appointment.
What's Stacy's last name?
Austin.
Okay, so I guess we could have said,
Yeah,
we agreed to
Negotiated.
hire
Stacy,
Stacy
yeah.
Austin.
she had she had a middle name in there too.
Good for she had one.
No, man, no.
And I'll put in there for budgeted salary.
Yep.
All right, that's there, so I guess we can move on, right, to the
Yep.
next piece.
The next one is number 10, the grave digger contract.
Number 9, you gotta actually do the.
Oh,
vote for
sexton
points.
appointment, excuse me, I jumped one, we'll go back to number 9, the sexton appointment.
He's doing pretty good for his first time doing this, isn't he?
I would have gone to number 10, I thought we just did it.
So you agreed to hire, now you actually officially have to appoint her with a vote, so.
So I'll make a motion that we appoint Stacy Austin to the sexton position.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so if you guys want to sign in the top section right there, above your name, showing that you're making that appointment, we'll go ahead and administer the oath as soon as we can meet with her. Oops.
Hopefully it provides Denise with some much needed relief, so she can hold her position on the cemetery committee.
Correct. And get those.
Even though
cards.
the cemetery committee didn't have a problem with her acting as a dual, in a dual role.
Right.
It was brought before, to say yea and nay.
A couple of meetings I've sat in on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right where they want you to be.
The next page is the oath we'll administer, so as long as you
Yeah,
sign that first page, we're all good with that. That's
Moving
it.
on to number 10.
All right, number 10.
Number 10, the grave digger contract review.
Okay, so in number 10 is the copy of the contract. The notes that I took from last night is why the need for the contract. It creates exclusiveness to one vendor.
Right.
Town's not responsible for fees, therefore no contract is needed because there's no fiduciary agreement between the town and the vendor.
That's kind of what we were talking about. Would you happen to have any input on that? I mean, is he? I mean, we've done business with him for however many years. I mean,
We've done it with him for many, many years.
Yeah, I don't really see the need for
Contract, why would we change? If
I
they
mean-
broke, don't fix it.
He's a good, reliable source.
agreed.
Anytime I've had questions about how to do things, he's explained it to me in detail because his mother was a sexton for the town of Freedom at one time. And he helped her a lot, so.
Yeah.
I knew, things that I was uncomfortable with, he explained it to me, so it works out very well that way.
We can either kick this down the road or take a vote on it. As far as, I don't really feel that it's really necessary, but we had this discussion the other day in regards to, you know,
Well, right,
I mean, somebody can dig their own plot with a shovel, right? I mean,
Yes,
technically, right, so how do we take that away from somebody? I know it ain't gonna happen, I know like 1,000 people, you'd be 999, you know, Mike will be the one digging the hole.
I don't have,
I'm happy with that.
I like Mike, I know Mike personally.
Yeah.
And, I've coached his son in baseball, I've been around him for a long time, and I just soon keep status quo.
Right.
I mean, he would always be my first choice.
I agree.
Because,
I mean, I've had people tell me at one time that they done their father's gravesite, full burial, and they said they'd never do it again
Mhm.
because of the roots and everything, and.
Yeah. I agree, it's probably not as easy as it looks on TV,
Oh, I'm sure it's not.
And,
so I let him go get rocks and just lay you on.
Right, yeah. It's easier.
It's easy.
I think that, like, the thing that I have a problem with writing a contract with someone where we don't have any skin in the game. So if we're thinking about this, we're not having any transaction between the grave digger, I forget his name, is it?
Mike Abbott.
Abbott. Mr. Abbott, thank you. So we have no negotiated costs or contractual agreement or need for it because we're not transferring any funds. And the business that's transpiring, the actual action of the business is not even happening on town property because the lot has theoretically been sold and conveyed to the family. So the contract should be between the family and the grave digger. In order for the town to stay neutral, we would actually, 9 times out of 10, we're gonna recommend Mr. Abbott because we've had good working relationship with him.
And I think that's what he's pointing at.
Right.
But I don't think that we have to give him exclusiveness
As
because
long-
then it's creating a liability on our part. We've bound ourselves to, if he fails to provide the service to the family, we're creating a liability for ourselves that we don't even.
Right.
Which he's never done. I
Not
mean,
that he ever would, but I mean, you have to look at it as maybe it's not Mr. Abbott and it's the person who buys his business 10 years from now, and then we're having the same agreement, the same conversation, and it's not the same outcome we would have got with Mr. Abbott. So I think that we have to look at the contract, because we are making the
But-
contract not with an individual, but with a business.
Well,
Right.
that changes everything if business changes hands, I'm just saying. I
But if
mean,
he sells the
as
business with
loyalty-
contracts in place, who's to say that, I mean, unless it says it's not transferable, we're having the same conversation with the other
I
contract.
agree, you would certainly handcuff yourself if you enter into a contract agreement that says you can only have Mike
Right,
dig a hole.
right,
We prefer it that,
right.
to always be Mike as I would personally, I mean, he's familiar with all the cemeteries, it would be foolish to try to, it's foolish to try to search for somebody else, I mean, his service to the town for, like you said, however many years.
The other thing that kind of bothers me is that he does not want to be in contact with the party.
Well,
It's
that's.
understandable.
So that's something that has gone to the wayside with the past sextons, that they have pushed the work to the family but in our job description, we, the sexton, is responsible for helping facilitate that with the family.
I would think the sexton would be the go-between the grave digger and the family. That's what the
Absolutely.
sexton is.
Without a contract, there's no need for the town to have, we put a
You know,
person in
the
charge of
The
that.
people who have just lost a loved one doesn't need to be talking to him. They're supposed to have this, my understanding of it would be the sexton gets the information from the family, gets in contact with Mike, and
Sets up the date,
Mike
sets
is
up the
only dealing
burial.
with the sexton, not the
Yeah.
people who've lost a loved one, and
How
vice versa.
how I do it right now is, okay, the family contacts me, or a representative contacts me. And I will ask, do you want a grave digger, or are you planning to do it yourself? Is this a cremation or a whole burial?
Right,
And then I tell them who the grave digger is and what the charges are. And then they can say, well, we'll do it ourselves. Or, okay, we will, and I say you will have to make payments, payable to him directly. And I give them name.
yeah, I mean,
So does
it's
Mr.
kind of
Abbott not want to do like an invoice to the family? Is that the type of communication? He doesn't want to have to invoice the family.
I think that's it, because a lot
So-
of cash.
So that makes it difficult to,
not for us, not really.
that's really not our issue though. It's,
All we need,
if he's gonna be running a business, then he's gonna have to invoice the family. I mean,
that's not us.
we can't do that. We don't
We're not-
collect the
we're not
fees, we don't, we're not.
I just tell them who to pay.
Yeah.
And how much.
Yeah.
And there's nothing coming into my hands from them,
I can't see where there would be any culpability on the town's part either.
and
Right.
I tell them that they can make.
To me, it sounds like
You pay them, I don't care how you pay them.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We don't have an ordinance that states that we collect the grave diggers.
Wait, maybe.
The only thing he wants to have available to you guys is his liability.
Right, and
That's
that's acceptable, he should do that, because if there's damages that occurred during the burial that was not on the land of the family that's in question, then absolutely, we should have a COI on file and record should something happen.
Right.
Right,
But as far as like communication with the family, that's all done through the sexton, all he really literally has to do is write a bill.
yeah, and then as soon as I find out how, when.
Yeah.
I send him a text message.
Mhm.
I send the mower text message of the upcoming service.
Yeah.
So they know if they can get it cutting in beforehand, yeah,
Well, because sometimes they're gonna be during the week, and they're planning on mowing during the
that
week.
day.
Right.
That day.
Right.
So I let them
You
know
just let
so
them
they
know
go
to
someplace else.
switch days.
Switch days.
Important, yeah, to do a change.
Because you don't know how long somebody's gonna wanna stay there. And that was the sticking point with Mike, right? I mean, you wonder why it's $650, but
Mhm.
if you're sitting over there for 3 or 4 hours, you know,
And he did that.
yeah, and he does do it, so
Right.
you have to factor this in, this is why I charge this much, you know?
Well, I think that,
I think I think it's, today's world, I think it's fair, I mean,
I think it's fair.
because
I
you're gonna be
mean-
there 3 or 4 hours.
Well, anyway, right.
I think that we could draft a list of people that we prefer to be, doing the digging in the cemetery and say that, this is the person that we have the most
But
luck with,
my,
but it's
my,
not really
my
on
point is you can't just let
anyone.
anybody come into the cemeteries
Right.
of their choosing.
Right.
That's why you want, that's why this makes a little bit of sense. I mean, in the,
Because he's covered with insurance, he's got,
Mhm.
if he's covering his ass, he's covering our ass.
Right.
could be somebody who rented a mini excavator,
Right, yeah.
Eagle rental or something.
That's never ran one before. Oh, don't worry,
I can
Grandma.
save $400 because it cost me $200 for the day,
Right.
Yeah. And then they
Oops,
go in
that was
there
my
and
lot.
back over somebody,
Or.
Right, there's a whole,
We
there's
can
a
see the
thousand
measurement.
things that you could get.
Right.
could go wrong.
Especially by somebody who doesn't know what.
So
they're
I understand the premise
Yeah.
of this thing. I don't really think we need to open up,
Can farms.
yeah, that big.
Mhm.
Let's not rip the top right off this thing.
And I mean, he's semi-retired.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said,
I mean, the last one he did was for a full burial. He sat in the rain for 2 hours.
Yep.
Waiting for them to come.
He's top notch, right? There's no doubt about
No, I mean, for them to come
Yeah, I know.
from the service because it was behind schedule.
it. They said, Mike is
Yeah,
top notch.
yeah,
No doubt about
it
that.
happens, you know. That's why you gotta, this price is factored in for that. Now, if I get out of there in 2 hours, I made a, you know, I made a buttload of money today, but if I sit there
Sometimes you
for,
don't, right?
if I sit there for 4 or 5 hours, you know,
Yeah.
then I'm covered.
Because there's a few cemeteries he doesn't have a problem with getting into, but there's one he hates. That's the Fowler.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's familiar with them all. I mean, it just makes sense to keep using this vendor, but, and I would encourage it as long as I'm sitting here, but I don't really see, I don't know, we're limiting ourselves
Yeah.
to any backup plan if we sign this and say that he can only dig exclusively.
It's him and his son.
Hmm?
Him and his son. I mean, if he's not available, and he and his wife decide to go away for the weekend, there's an event coming up. His son,
Does Matthew, who does it, Matthew?
I think that's the son, he never told me his son's name,
Mhm. I didn't know if it was Matthew that would do it, or,
but he says his son's a contractor too, so.
yeah, I agreed, I don't see the need to sign this at this moment in time. We still have every intention of using them.
Right, yeah.
So do you want to do like a motion that we're not going to do a contract for this at this time? Or do you want to table it? How do you want to do it? Tabling it's kicking it down a little bit.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we should just kick that can down the road by tabling it. I think that would be the best.
I think so, because I had no.
Let's just table it for now for
Bring
future
it back.
discussion. Like I
Okay.
said,
Right.
we'll just kick the can down the road.
Do you want me to bring it back to the next meeting so that Tony can put his input in then?
Sure.
Yeah.
We need to make an official motion. I'll make a motion that we table the grave digger contract until the next selectmen's meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Selectmen's items. Tony? No?
No.
That's something he did.
Yep.
I'm all set, I believe. I don't know about you, Chris.
Any word on that tree? The tree?
Still haven't heard back from CMP. I
Still
have it, and they
CMP.
said 30 days before they get out.
Huh.
It's only been 2.5 weeks or so since we submitted the ticket.
They'll use all 30 before they tell us
Oh, yeah,
no.
right, oh, 31, just to be CMP.
Yeah. And still say no.
Okay, but I wanted to ask.
I have a feeling it's probably gonna fall down before they actually deal with it.
Probably,
Chris.
No,
Tree.
that's the only thing I had. So, like I said, I know I brought it up, so I wanted to follow up to the end.
And,
But, so I figured I'd ask if CMP gave.
it moves us down to 14.
Yeah.
Public feedback and comments. Is there anybody in the audience?
Denise?
We got the, that would be technical.
Oh, yeah,
And Tony
Have
and
you
I,
tried it out?
we tried it out last week, trying to find the survey pins before pontoon. the reason I'm here is because of those survey pins for Pond Two. The deed,
Did you find them?
the only one we found is the one that Tony found. The deed that we went by, which is Mr. Benson's, as I'm reading down through it, it is a little bit more detailed and it's giving coordinates, even though the so many feet northwesterly.
Right.
Anyways, so I tried the coordinates where the survey pin is. My mind's thinking that it's going to give me the exact same coordinates, and it doesn't, so I Googled it, and it says it can be off 3 to 4 meters, which is quite a big area. I didn't know if you guys might have a better,
All I know is when we were down there, the forest survey guy said he did not know where the line was now. He couldn't find it either, so
and going
that's
back,
why they stayed back until we asked.
right, and I understand that, because
Because he didn't know, so they stayed back a ways until we asked about them cutting the trees down, then it didn't matter anymore.
yeah,
So they just blew right through it, but.
because one of the description is a tree.
Right.
Which is probably gone.
It is.
It certainly is now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is now.
So that's what's good about the coordinates, it might give us an idea, plus with the metal detector, it might pin it easier. But my feelings is,
And that's why we had talked about having that property resurveyed,
yeah, that's what I go with.
you know, that was, has been figured in
In that
through
part.
the EDC committee
Okay,
to have that property resurveyed, because we weren't sure if we'd even be able to find the exact markers, you know.
because right now, I mean, I can run around there and look completely idiot, because that's not a problem. But I would not sign off saying that's exactly where it's supposed to be.
No,
I agree, I think we should just bite the bullet and
Yeah. Just do
and
it.
have that property resurveyed.
And it does not look, reading the description, does not look like it's a true rectangle.
Right.
It's kind of like a little jet out here and back in, and this is,
I don't
that's,
know who this town typically uses,
the one that did Fort
I
Steel
mean,
was Mike
obviously.
Bell out of China,
out of China. We just used him for that one,
on
or
the Fort
did
Steel.
Fordyce? Mr. Fordyce hired him, or we did?
I believe the town did,
We did?
because if you look on the map, it was for the town of Unity, and it was Mike Fowler.
And we were just talking during the work session last night about having a list of vendors
Right.
that we use, that
We think
with
that we
numbers
need to like,
available that we've used in the past, so we
Yeah.
can easily,
And he may have been the one that did this one for Mark. Mark owned the property, Mark Morrison.
Morrison.
And if he is, he probably has, you know,
I mean, I think we should just bite the bullet and quit guessing and just reach out to a surveyor and
I mean.
put this thing to rest. I mean, we need to know where the boundaries are
Right.
of that cemetery.
well, it's gonna affect, it's not only gonna affect the cemetery, it's gonna affect the trail things.
Right.
That's what I mean, we wanna
We
know
just kinda like gotta
what's
like
going on.
do something like to have.
We need a definitive line there.
Yeah, right.
And then,
I wanna find both ends and
And then,
tie a string or something across there so you can get a perspective of what we're looking at.
and then you can get this description to go along with the deed that I gave you.
Yeah,
Yes.
they'll give you a, what they'll do is when you have it surveyed, you can either have the survey recorded, or you can have them
Please.
draft the deed with the new language.
Yeah, because the deed that we got, even though it was headstone back in the 1800s,
right,
we received it in the 1960s.
I hope they're all on our property.
right.
Yes, yes, exactly. exactly.
Right.
No, half and half or something, you know.
Oh, God, just let's open another can of worms.
So if we go by, if
I'm gonna be like buried in the sky or something at this point.
If we go by what that first pin shows, I got a feeling we're okay.
I'd like to see it with my own eyes.
Yeah, I want to see black and white and someone says, I did it exactly.
And
Yeah.
once you have a survey, you could look at putting in a fence so that you know it's a barrier there or something that, so people know that
That's
it's
what we were
not.
talking about.
Yeah.
We need a definitive
Definitive
line.
line, right.
And, but anyway, I believe was all rolled in.
I mean, my assumption was that with the request to appropriate the funds for trails, was that would be something that would be
Yeah.
considered as part of that.
And I
so-
believe that was even in the language, I thought,
Maybe,
when
when
we
we were
talked
talking
about
to the
it, the
EDC.
surveyor.
Yeah.
You know, because we felt like that needed to be done,
Right.
so.
So you want to do is have the town have a trail of Swiss.
Well, you know, and I mean, that was at the town meeting, and the funds of, I mean, the citizens kind of agreed on it.
Yeah.
So I believe we can move forward with
I
the
think so.
survey,
I mean, I
think
don't
we can,
even-
I think we can jump right into this.
Yeah, and I don't know if
It's
we have
already
to go,
July.
I don't think we even have to, do we have to take it to the EDC to get approved? No, I don't think so.
They've
I
already
think we can just
approved
use
it.
Well,
it.
I approved it.
So as long
I
as you
think-
vote to,
I think we get the green light to move forward.
Yay.
I think we should reach out to them as quick as we can.
Okay, my next question is, I reached out to Tony yesterday.
Is that why he's not here?
Could be.
Yeah, okay.
About the grubs.
Mhm.
And he had a person, I asked him if he's gonna come to our meeting, and he just wanted to confirm when it was. Our meeting's gonna be on the 8th, which is next Tuesday.
The cemetery committee meeting?
Yes. And, cause get that person on the agenda, he just like explain to us how it goes about, because I haven't gone to anybody as to how much it would cost to have treatment done.
I mean, Stacy seemed to know a little bit about it as well,
Yeah, I'm hoping she'll be able to come too. You do have her email address, I hope?
not yet. She's coming in, when she does her oth, we'll get her email. I
Okay.
don't know,
but
she
we know
might,
where she lives though.
we do, and she may have put her email, I can't say that, maybe it's on the application, I didn't look at the application, I don't know if it's a question we asked for, but we will get that, so that you'll have that, so she can attend the cemetery meetings.
But yes, as far as the surveyor, I think we should go, you know,
Yeah, because I don't.
I think we should reach out and get this,
Get this done.
put this to bed, Rick.
Yeah.
Well, we cannot find the pins, and one of the descriptions is a tree.
Right. You're not going to, because I mean, that's kind of like,
If it's not a pin, then
I don't.
you don't even know, somebody could have went in there and pulled the pin out, it's not like they're, it's not like they're 8 feet
Concrete,
down in
right.
there, you know.
Yeah, because Mr. Fallon did the.
You can take the pin out, move it over here, or you can throw it, or do whatever you want to with it, I mean.
Is it,
Mr. Fallon did my neighbor's property, my plow person, took the pin,
Mhm.
pulled it out.
Gone,
all right.
right,
I know where it's supposed to be.
somewhere in this neighborhood, if you're running off the tape measure, you
Right.
get close, but.
we're struggling, I mean, our lot was surveyed and we think we found the back pin, but that's not what was described to us in our land purchase, so is that a pin for another abutting lot, or
Is it ours?
is ours, yeah, so I mean, it's hard to say, things get moved over time, you know, it's not a die hard, it's generally I think it's about right at this point, you know.
And when it becomes an issue, you have your property surveyed.
Like what we got right now.
Yes, and I think we, like you said, I think we should move forward on that, and put this to rest.
So did you wanna do a motion and vote for that? To move forward with the surveyor, to hire a surveyor?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we move forward to hire a surveyor for Pond 2 Cemetery. Between Pond 2 Cemetery and, Mr. Andrew Benson's property. So we can find a definitive line.
I second it.
Yay. Do you want the speed?
They have to vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Judith says I have to raise my hand.
Because of the whole wave, we have to wave to the,
I thought I could say it real loud.
Okay, that was all my issues.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. We need to find the boundaries to the cemetery.
Because it'll affect everything else that's connected to it, like you said, trails and.
Their equipment's more accurate than my little GPS on my phone.
and they take into consideration, they take all the abutting deeds and they
Right.
work off the last surveyed parcel and work their way around.
So I'll give you this.
They use transits, they use exact measurements, not.
Oh, they do, and like I said.
That's probably even archaic by today's standards, when you can,
That's
Is this
the
when
one.
you
copy I
can
gave you?
pinpoint your coordinates
Yes.
with,
This is the
Yeah.
section right
you know,
here.
with an actual GPS
Right.
plan, you know.
The description's here, but this gives me a coordinates.
Even if, you know, I don't even know what surveyors do today. I mean, I'm used to surveyors setting up transits and, you know,
They have all kinds of
yeah.
stuff,
they do.
and they're experienced, and they
Yep.
know things.
They're not guessing.
No, because their license is on it.
So do we have any correspondence? None?
None.
None.
Oh, I do have one more question.
Oh, more correspondence, I guess.
Uh-oh.
On the subject of a surveyor,
Go for it.
who's reaching out to a surveyor?
Yeah, who's gonna make the call?
I can look up some numbers. You wanna give me a list of numbers I can call people?
Okay,
I may have to
I would
have,
use the one that I would start.
so you can,
on the
if you wanna
one.
email me or text me that guy's name and we'll get a number, or if you wanna stop in tomorrow, we can look it up and.
I gotta get the amateur tutoring, then I gotta go to UMO.
Okay. Just,
Another day.
Even,
just text me the information and I'll see what I can find tomorrow and reach out to, obviously he'd have to come in and get copies of the deeds that we currently have, so I mean, I'm sure we can make it pretty clear what we're looking for, so.
I mean, if he's already a vendor that's worked for this town, I
Yeah.
say stay right put.
Right.
I wanna say he is.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
wanna-
if you said he did the deed for the Fordyce field,
Well, how I wanna say this. Brian Godet got lots more information from him when he got ready to do the, mapping of this field for plots, to design it out, and Mike was more than happy to help him on that.
Mhm.
I talked to Mike, but I don't have his phone number because I don't think I kept it.
Does it?
But he's not that far away,
Mhm.
but he's busy.
He's
not that far away, but he is busy.
Well, everyone is, if they're any good. That's why I say, you know, try to get this thing rolling.
I agree.
And he used to work for DOT back in the day.
If it's something he's even interested in.
Okay, I will send you his name.
Okay.
What's that business name?
I think it's Mike Pallen's son or something like that, but
Do you want me to just Google it? He's in, you said China?
China.
Let's see, surveyors. Kennebec, Moran, that's Waterville, Gardner, Waterville, Palermo.
Fallon and Son Survey, Land Surveys Incorporated.
Get the number right here, I'll write it down and then I'll call him tomorrow.
Okay, 692-7418.
All right, I'll call him tomorrow and get that started for you guys.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
All right,
Have a good evening, Denise.
all right, motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
We are
adjourn 7:45.
7:45 PM.
Yay.
Yay, yeah. All in favor? Yay! There's one for Tony.
Yeah.
So do we know how to shut that thing off?
I'm doing it right now. I just can't do it like in the middle.
End stream, end.